What's good, everybody? As we all know, as gacha gamers, 4 stars are a bit of a controversial topic. In some games they are abundant, and in others they are far more scarce. As someone that plays Wuthering Waves pretty regularly, we see a 4-star a couple times a year at this point. When it comes to Honkai Star Rail, another gacha game that I played now and then, I think like the last 4-star that they had was like a year and a half ago at this point. I think it's been over a year. I might correct me if I'm wrong. I think it's been over a year now since they had their last 4-star. So it's a declining. It's a what's it called? They're an endangered species. 4 stars are becoming an endangered species, and we're gonna have a look at this video right here by Analytical Vibes, and they're gonna give their take on why exactly these games start making 4 stars. I have my own opinions and my own takes, but we want to see exactly what they believe the problem is for 4 stars right here. So let's go. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. I'm live every single day on Twitch and on Kick. Links are down below. I see you guys then. Let's get into the video.
What the hell happened to all the 4 stars? Across Wuthering Waves,
I ate them. Sorry, I was hungry. My bad. Anyway.
Honkai Star Rail, and Zenless Zone Zero, you'd be forgiven for thinking 4-star characters were quietly Thanos-snapped from the genre. 4 stars have quietly declined or disappeared altogether. Each game has its own reasons for phasing them out.
Yeah, HSR doesn't make them anymore. They straight up stopped making them. And I think that's for team building reasons, but we'll see.
And some of these reasons are surprisingly logical, while others are downright scandalous. Let's explore together why each one has no good reason to release so few 4 stars. Or do they? Let's break each game down, starting with the least atrocious case, Wuthering Waves, then transitioning to the most egregious, flagrant offender, Honkai Star Rail.
Yeah, Honkai Star Rail is cooked.
4-star in over 14 months and counting. You're gonna want to stick around.
I thought it was
a ridiculous stat about the HSR 5-star release schedule. It's downright deplorable. I'll wrap it up with Zenless Zone Zero, which lands somewhere in the middle. Wuthering Waves' avoidance of 4-star releases is actually the easiest to understand. The game's 3-slot team structure means that adding a new 4-star is not a small addition. It occupies a full third of any team. This alone raises the design stakes dramatically.
If they're not good, if the 4-star is simply just not good or viable at all, people would rather use something else, right? This is very true. Like, they have to be good and have to serve a purpose that you cannot already get from one of your 5 stars. Like, they have to be so good, like Sanhua with really quick concerto, or they offer maybe like Aero Rover with like a negative status. You know what I mean? Like some kind of like thing that another character cannot provide you. And if they're not good enough, then you might as well just use any other character, right? Slot in a sub DPS, do some quick swapping. I think that's the thing, right? Like, they have to provide something that you couldn't just slot in another 5-star character that you have that could just do some damage.
Single new 4-star has to be balanced against every existing 5-star option, or else it risks either being irrelevant or overshadowing premium units in a way.
You simply just won't use them. If they're not good, you simply won't use them. So it's like, how do you balance that? How do you balance being able to use a 4-star and have them be viable in like all your teams to the point where they are actually useful and them just not sucking?
Undermines monetization. You see, taking up 33% of a team is worse than just taking up 25% like in Genshin or Honkai Star Rail. But this is just the first reason of many. The production cost of 4 stars doesn't help either. Despite being cheaper for players to acquire, 4 stars require the exact same production effort as 5 stars. Voice acting, animation, narrative integration, kit design, and extensive gameplay testing. But unlike 5 stars, they generate significantly less revenue. They
generate less revenue because people aren't pulling for them, but they are harder to obtain, right? Because they're not guaranteed to drop. Like you have no idea like when you're gonna get them. Plus 4 stars tend to only be as like on par to like maybe a lower end 5-star, not even on par when you have them like S6'd, right? So you're gonna spend a lot of time actually like getting your 4 stars to be good in the first place. I still don't have booling. No, okay. Don't XDD me. No, I still don't have booling, and I'm sad about that. I'm sad about that fact.
allows players to obtain a guaranteed copy of every new featured 4-star from the shop on debut, which is generous, but completely eliminates the traditional income stream where players pull for a specific 4-star and fail repeatedly. In Wuthering Waves, you can plan for that copy. You can guarantee it. Kuro is effectively sacrificing potential sales to offer players convenience. Ironically, this generosity makes 4-stars less sustainable to produce. A 4-star only generates notable revenue if players chase S6, yet most players feel no urgency to do that when the base copy is so easy to secure. From a business standpoint, creating more 4-stars becomes a losing proposition. Each one takes as much work as a 5-star, but earns less, risks filling 33% of a team slot, and can be obtained for free with proper planning. I'm afraid the bad news.
I feel like I understand it's a less in terms of what they're going to make in revenue, same production costs overall. But it's also this thing of like, they're not always as integrated into like the main story, so they're not gonna have like as many voice lines. Right? Like Bullying does not have the same amount of voice lines as like Augusta or Yuno or like any kind of like Septimont character, right? They don't have the same screen time. They don't have. So I think the overall production value isn't technically the same. Like it is significantly less, and I don't think their like combat animations are as good necessarily. But no, there's definitely like a lot of work that goes into them, and I think they are necessary for more than anything, like new players or people that are free to play that like can't fill out their roster of stuff very quickly. Like if you just start the game and you have no negative status characters, then Bullying's like an option for you to use, right? That's kind of the problem that we had for a while of like there should be an option for new players or free to plays that are early on in their game pulling experience to be able to have access to all the features, negative statuses, but now everyone has like tunability, you know what I mean? So I think that's another reason why they're important. They should exist. Not necessarily like I feel someone like me that's like got like basically all the characters, I have really no incentive or reason to really use Bullying, but if I didn't and I just kind of started, then there's a reason for it.
News doesn't end there. The game's buff ecosystem further complicates things.
I think that's the thing, right? Like they're not entirely necessary. Like there comes a certain point where people don't really need them, but like when you've got like Tower of Adversity, when you want like a good couple of teams, like it can take a while to be pulling for characters, there are options there for you to use.
Wuthering Waves is so incredibly strong, and because the game features far fewer buffs overall compared to other titles like Honkai Star Rail, even a simple 4-star with a damage amp outro can make a character feel significantly better.
Just give them a good outro.
That a 4-star could accidentally elevate a team to the point where it competes with or outperforms a paid 5-star kit. Given all of that, Kuro's strategy makes sense. 4 stars.
Honestly, I think that some of the genius when it comes to like characters and Wuwa, like the outro system, like really makes it so easy to make like a bad character kit like good. Simply having a really good buff could take a character from being like whatever to like, oh, this is based. Like that's how like kind of genius it is to have this intro outro system, because a lot of the times all you really might care about is a good outro, you know? Like it is so like you have this character balancing whatever, but if they pop you a good buff for the rest of your team, we're happy.
Are expensive to design, tricky to balance, and too likely to cannibalize 5-star sales. Under those conditions, it's rational for them to simply slow down making new ones.
But wait! There's more!
And then we get to Honkai Star Rail. This one is...
Ooh, I think Honkai Star Rail is a lot harder to make 4 stars for than Wuthering Waves, because even their 5 stars end up sucking to a certain degree, right? Like Firefly you can't even use now unless you have Dahlia. Like if like 5 stars are getting like are struggling unless they have their proper teams, 4 stars have no chance, right? That's really it. Like Honkai Star Rail right now is about having the correct like team composition as well, and it hurts. Right? It hurts way more, and it's like, well, we can make these 4 stars, but are people really going to be using them? Is it like whatever? Like Gallagher, the 4 stars I still use is Gallagher. Maybe March 7th, right? Maybe March 7th and Mo's too for like some other my follow-up stuff, but like it's if the 5 stars are getting power crept, the 4 stars are cooked.
It's baffling. Buckle up. Honkai Star Rail does not have the same excuses or instances of generosity as Wuthering Waves. Honkai Star Rail has not released a single new 4-star since Moe's on September 10th, 2024, over a full year ago. We're currently deep into version 3.
And even then, it was a long time before they released a 4-star before that.
0.7, and there is no indication.
Yeah, they're dead on release. They're good for like Moe's was good when you were using it with I think was it Fei Xiao, like for follow-up and stuff like that for like a little bit. Yeah, and then it kind of just fell off immediately when you had other people. So yeah.
That a new 4-star is arriving anytime soon. Unlike Wuwa, Star Rail doesn't have a structural.
Yeah, and then they released like March, and then you could have March instead. So he didn't really have a place. He didn't really have a place or purpose that could really like benefit from like anything.
Excuse. It's simply a product of aggressive monetization and unsustainable release pacing. Before I tell you a ridiculous stat about the Honkai Star Rail 5-star release schedule, allow me to give you a reference point. For perspective, Genshin Impact generally releases 1 5-star per patch and occasionally releases none. Imagine that. No new 5-star.
That is true. Like Wuwa, Honkai Star Rail, they're doing like 2 characters every patch a lot of the time. I think Wuwa has a very, very aggressive schedule of releasing 5 stars. Like I do. I really do think Wuwa has a very, very aggressive way of releasing 5 stars. I think, dare I say, I think the Genshin's timeline of releasing 5 stars is like arguably better. Someone, you know, but like I do think that. Because they released Genshin has way more 4 stars. Genshin releases a lot of 4 stars
in a patch. Sometimes Genshin has treated new characters so casually that they debut in the second half of the patch with barely any marketing. Honkai Star Rail.
Does Genshin give you less pulls in a patch than like Wuwa? I don't know.
Could never. Its entire rhythm revolves around.
Wuwa feels like the 5 stars need the other 5 stars too much.
The truth
That's
is simple.
valid.
The game releases way too many 5 stars. Check out this stat. In the history of Honkai Star Rail, there have been 23 total patches. Across 23 patches, 20 of them have featured 2 new 5 stars. Only 3 patches in the entire history of the game have introduced a single 5 star. This is an unprecedented release schedule. 86% of all patches have included 2 new 5 stars. There are 6.
Bro, is there any wonder that these games pump out crazy money? Is there any wonder they pump absolutely insane numbers? Like, when you really put it into perspective like that, it is wild.
6 times more double 5-star patches than single ones, and this creates all sorts of problems. Because HSR is addicted to this pace, 4 stars become impossible to justify. They take the same development time as a 5-star, but generate a fraction of the revenue when your schedule already demands 2 premium
at some
units
point,
every patch.
Because there's like 2 every single patch, if you're not pulling one, people might be pulling for the other. There's always going to be a 5-star that people are going to be pulling for anyway. And that 5-star is likely going to fit whatever the current meta is at the time, more so than what the 4-star would anyway, right? So like, it doesn't really make that much sense. It doesn't really make that much sense because you will likely, and if you're going to skip 1, 2, you'll pull for the next one, and that character will likely fit into the team you're currently like building around. 4-star is kind of irrelevant and pointless anyway.
The team simply doesn't have the bandwidth or incentive to squeeze in a 4-star, but this is just the beginning of their issues. This double premium philosophy directly fuels the game's power creep problem. 4 stars serve a structural role in slowing down the pace of major upgrades to the meta. In Genshin, the release of a 4-star buys an additional 42 days between 5 stars, which helps stabilize power levels and gives older units more time to remain relevant. In HSR, that buffer simply does not exist. The game jumps from 5-star to 5-star relentlessly, and without 4 stars filling the gaps, the meta is always shifting upward. There is no downtime, no filler, no breathing room.
But wait! There's more!
This leads to the most frustrating.
Like, there was a time, like, at the beginning of the game, like, Ting Yun was just, like, a really good, like, 4-star because she gave you, like, extra, like, energy or whatever it was with, like, some buffs too. But now, like, every character can kind of, like, do that almost, I feel like. Or there are so many supports that, like, offer, like, so much more that it's just not even, it's just kind of pointless. Like, I'm confused. This all applies to Woowa too. I agree this all applies to Woowa, but it's like... they both suffer the same fate, right? I definitely think this suffers the same fate because Woowa has an equally as aggressive like release schedule. He never said Woowa was good. But I think the only better thing about Woowa and their 4-stars is that the way you can acquire them, right? The way that you could acquire them when they do release. But they do suffer the same problem of like, why would you make a 4-star if they're releasing so many 5-stars? And arguably, if you pull one of them in a patch or two, they're probably going to fit a current meta that you have in your team anyway, that they'll fit in, and the 4-star ends up becoming kind of like pointless. You know, I think they all suffer the exact. I do agree they suffer the exact same problem.
Realization.
But I just think with Honkai Star Rail, it's just way more evident because in Woowa, at least you still can use the 4-stars, but I genuinely think you can't do it with Honkai Star Rail. Like, maybe that's just me speculating, but I think like with Woowa, you could still use 4-stars and get away with it, right? But in HSR, it's just like, it's a lot more painful because even using like old 5-stars can be a pain.
That several characters released during the Emphoria cycle could have been 4-stars, Hyacinth, Ceridra, and Cypher among them, but were pushed into 5-star status because the game's business model demands it. And while it's true that Genshin's 4-stars can often be mediocre or even useless, Candace, Story, Sayu, Fremine, and others come to mind, at least they exist. At least they add variety. The only time HSR has released a 4-star is when they expect a big gap between the 4-star debut and the 5-star power creep replacement. Good examples of such a time gap are Gallagher and Linksha, and Hunt, March, and Cypher. The game has created an ecosystem with minimal budget options, no experimental low rarity units, and no variety beyond the endless stream of 5-stars. To make matters worse, an E6 4-star in HSR can easily cost more than pulling a fresh 5-star, yet still be weak.
I don't think anyone would do it just for that. I feel most of us get 4-stars just by accident or by happenchance.
So the real question is,
happenstance, that's the word.
What would you prefer? A system with a mostly useless but sometimes game-changing 4-stars like in Genshin? Or a system with a suffocating amount of 5-stars shoved down your throat? You might say the prior, but let me tell you, the grass is always greener. Ultimately, HSR doesn't release 4-stars because the studio is too busy raking in the big bucks from 2 new 5-stars every patch.
Goddamn. Here comes the
Zenless Zone
money.
Zero is a different story, but many of the same underlying pressures apply.
This, I feel like I will learn something new as someone who doesn't really play ZZZ. This will be interesting.
Launch, the game has only added a handful of new A-rank agents, while expanding its S-rank roster at a much faster pace. The ratio is roughly 1 new 4-star for every 6 new 5-stars. Since launch, there have been 4 new 4-stars and 24 new 5-stars. Part of this can be explained through team structure. ZZZ's teams consist of only 3 agents plus a Bang Boo, which means every new character competes for extremely limited space. This dynamic mirrors Woowa's 3-slot limitation. When team size is small, every addition has higher stakes, and studios naturally prefer to invest those stakes in premium units. Monetization pushes the roster in the same direction. ZZZ has a unique banner system that introduces a single new 5-star while running only 2 4-stars instead of the
Okay, so do you have more of an increased chance of getting the 4-star then?
traditional 3, encouraging players to focus their pulls on the premium units rather than diversifying through new 4-stars. This keeps
I don't think anyone's doing that. I don't think anyone's diversifying based on a 4-star, really. I think people just pull on banners that they want to pull on the 5-star for. Right? Am I crazy? I feel like, how many times have any of y'all like prioritized a banner based on the 4-star? I don't know. I feel like we'll just pull for the 5-star we want.
pulling for the new
Because I'm not gonna, okay, apart from bullying. okay, I just kind of want to bullying because I kind of want to use it, but like,
5-star.
Yeah, you know what I mean.
Pressure to design fresh 4-stars. After all, there is
yeah.
one
If they're new though, if they're new, that's different
to
for sure.
summon for a 4-star in the first place. Fewer unique 4-stars keeps players chasing 5-stars for optimal teams, boosting revenue. Over time, this creates a cycle where 5-stars feel essential, while 4-stars exist primarily to fill the banner. On top of that, Zenless Zone Zero's meta design tends to make new 5-stars synergize best with other premium units, pushing 4-stars into the role of budget substitutes rather than equal contributors. Support A ranks like Nicole, Sukaku, Lucy, Pultra, and Pan Yin Hu have aged well, but only if you get the supports are naturally flexible, but A rank DPS.
Do you know what I would love? If a 4-star has the ability to reach the heights of a 5-star, but you like the way you have to play them is like fucked up. Like the way you play them, it's gotta be you gotta be a menace for it to work, but like they could be really good. I kind of want that. I want that. I want a 4-star that could actually be like cracked as fuck, but like you gotta. But they're never gonna do that. That's never gonna happen.
Quickly fall behind.
Like Dungeon, I guess, but like in a team. A character you could have in a team, but yeah, Dungeon's a good example of like what I'm talking about solo.
Game simply isn't built to support large numbers of new A ranks, and the monetization model has no reason to prioritize them. Across these 3 games, the decline of 4-stars isn't a coincidence. It's a pattern shaped by modern gacha economics. 4-stars cost almost as much as 5-stars, but generate significantly less revenue. In games with smaller team sizes,
it's basically the same point for all of them.
And in games like Honkai Star Rail, with hyper-aggressive release schedules, they become impossible to fit into the pipeline at all. Wu avoids 4-stars because they take up too much team space and risk being too strong. HSR avoids them because the business model revolves around constant 5-star releases, creating both a structural and financial incentive to abandon 4-stars entirely. And ZZZ avoids them because team size limited, monetization favors premium units, and the synergy structure pushes players toward newer S ranks. The result is the same across all these titles. We're entering an era where 4-stars are no longer the backbone of gacha rosters. Instead, they're becoming rare, optional, or outright abandoned. Gacha games are drifting.
They're abandoned, but I wonder if like Woowa is going to keep up with 4-stars. Maybe they're going to do like 1 a year, like 1 or 2 a year. I think that's okay. I think that's okay. Release a 4-star, because I feel like if you're a new player, you pick up a bunch of 4-stars on the banners that you'll be pulling for anyway. You're still going to get a roster of the old ones, and they can still have value for you and your teams over time. So I understand. I don't think it's a bad thing. Guys, I'm wondering, if I ask you the question, do you think it's a bad thing? Or do you not care? Type 1 if you think it's a bad thing, 2 if you don't really care about the lack of 4-stars. Because honestly, personally, I don't particularly care. Like, to me, it doesn't make a difference. Like, it doesn't particularly matter to me. 1, 2. I don't care. More corals for me. 2, I don't care. 2, all the 4-stars are temporary. Don't care. 6, 2, a negative status 4-star would have been nice. Yo! Kevju! Thank you for the 5 gifted, brother. Thank you. I appreciate it. Holy, thank you, man. Hope you're doing well. Thank you. As long as pull economy is enough to get 5-stars, it doesn't matter too much. Yeah. I like 4-stars if they try something different with them, like PGR. Waste of a slot, waste of resources. Yeah. Yep, I have so many 4-stars that I have like, thanks for the raid last time. Oh, no problem, man. Thank you. You're welcome. You're absolutely welcome. Thank you. Appreciate it. I caught one. Make sure you all say thanks. Yeah, because like guys, you could see all my 4-stars, right? You could see all my 4-stars that I have. And like look how many, bro, my I have a level 1 Chisha. I have a level 1 Chisha, a level 1 Yohu, a level 1 Yumi, a level 1 Encore. Oh my god. A level 2 Wanwu. Okay, I got a level 20 Zeza. Yang Yang's 40. Baija's 40. Taochi. Bro, all of my 4-stars, apart from Alto, Mortefi, and Sanhua, are levels 1.
Like this?
I literally, it just goes to show that these characters, you do not need them whatsoever if you're pulling consistently on banners. Baishi's worth leveling? Maybe, but I've never needed to. That's the thing. Like, yeah, like I'm just gonna waste all my resources on them? No, thank you. Like, no, thank you. I don't want to waste my resources on that. Zez's Slander? Do you know why? Because I never use Carlotta. I can't remember the last time I used Carlotta in like TOA. So like I don't have even a need to raise my Zezza. It's crazy. That's worse than me, and I started a couple of months ago. I love Carlotta. I think she's great. I just use everybody else more for like all my stuff.
I alone will
like I use it so much more. I still use Yang Yang and Chishu and Alto to explore overworld. Makes it fun to explore and not kill everything too fast. No, if I'm overworld exploring, I want everything to die in like 0.2 seconds. I don't want it to take long. I don't want it to take long. I want it to be like instant. Like I want it to be like instant. You know what I mean? I was Chishu the first 3 floors for the side towers. Yeah, I mean Chishu's a great character. Like the solo Chisu runs are like awesome. Yeah, the solo Chisu runs that people do are like really cool. But yeah,
toward a model defined almost entirely by premium units, and unless something drastically changes, the era of the 4-star may be gone for good.
That was a great video, guys. Make sure I'm gonna link it in chat. You go subscribe, go like, go order that, do all that good stuff. W video. This guy is pumping out like actually like really good content. Yeah, this guy is actually making like a lot of like pretty like decent content like the last like week. Like he's new. This guy is new and he's making pretty good videos. Like go support this guy. He is doing something awesome. So y'all should subscribe. Okay, y'all should subscribe. Huge
4
W.
stars.
I love seeing more people coming into the gacha space and creating cool content like that, which is like awesome. Guys, I appreciate y'all. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. I'll see you on the next one. Peace.
Twitch.tv/Captain Cabinetz, Captain Cabinetz.